In a village nestled between rolling hills lived a kind woodworker named Theo. He lived a simple life, his days filled with the scent of sawdust and the gentle rhythm of his tools. Theo had a heart as sturdy as the oak he carved and a love for the forest as deep as its roots. Each day he walked among the trees, greeting the birds and squirrels as old friends. Theo believed in the language of nature, a language whispered on the wind and sung by the babbling brook. He found solace in the rustling leaves and the soft whispers of the forest. His heart was filled with the peace that only comes from understanding the silent music of the woods. One crisp morning, while gathering wood, Theo heard a soft whimper. He followed the sound, his heart pounding with worry. There, nestled amongst the ferns, lay a tiny deer, its leg caught beneath a fallen branch. Its eyes, wide with fear, met Theo's with a plea for help. Theo gently lifted the branch, freeing the frightened creature. The fawn's leg was clearly injured, a small whimper escaping its lips. He couldn't leave it here, alone and vulnerable. He carefully lifted the fawn into his arms, its soft brown eyes trusting and afraid. Theo carried the fawn back to his cottage, his heart filled with pity for the helpless creature. He named her Fern, after the greenery that had concealed her. He made a splint for her leg, his skilled hands working with a tenderness born of compassion. Days turned into weeks. Theo fed Fern warm milk, his calloused fingers stroking her soft fur. He spoke to her in soft tones, telling her stories of the forest and its creatures. Fern, in turn, responded with soft bleats and gentle nudges, her big brown eyes reflecting Theo's kindness. One sunny afternoon, as Theo and Fern were playing in the garden, a familiar sound reached their ears. It was a deep, resonant call, echoing through the trees. Fern lifted her head, her ears twitching, a look of recognition dawning in her eyes. She let out a joyous bleat and ran towards the edge of the woods. A magnificent doe emerged from the trees, her eyes filled with concern. It was Fern's mother. She nuzzled her fawn, her eyes filled with relief. Then she turned her gaze to Theo, her eyes reflecting a deep understanding and gratitude. The doe dipped her head into the heart of the forest and re-emerged with a flower unlike any Theo had ever seen. It shimmered with an otherworldly glow, its petals radiating warmth and light. She approached Theo and gently placed the flower at his feet. Theo gasped. He had never seen anything so beautiful. It was as if the forest itself was thanking him for his kindness. He knelt and carefully picked up the flower, its warmth spreading through his fingers and into his heart. Fern nuzzled against her mother, then looked back at Theo with a soft bleat of farewell. Mother and daughter disappeared into the woods, leaving Theo standing alone with the magical flower. He knew in his heart that they would never truly be apart. Theo returned to his cottage, the glowing flower illuminating his path. He placed it in a vase of clear water, where it continued to shimmer and glow, a constant reminder of the bond he shared with the forest and its creatures. From that day forward, Theo's life was forever changed. He continued his work, but now his heart was filled with a deeper understanding of the interconnectedness of all living things. He knew that kindness begets kindness, and that compassion has the power to heal not only the wounded, but also the hearts of those who offer it. The glowing flower became a symbol of this bond, a reminder that even the smallest acts of kindness can have a profound impact on the world around us. The forest, in turn, embraced Theo as one of its own, its whispers filled with gratitude and love for the kind woodworker who had shown compassion to one of its own.